What up, everybody? Welcome back into hockey's best podcast. Yeah, I said it. The Pacific Revision with one of your hosts, me, Miguel. Hey, hello, how are you? Alongside me is my co-host, Erick. Say hello, Erick.
It's time. It's playoff time.
It is playoff time, boys. That special moment, that special stressful time of the year in the hockey world. But man, there's nothing in the world like hockey playoffs.
I'm excited to be stressed.
But before we get into that, and boy, are we going to get into that, we got some news around the league. The Chicago Blackhawks have announced that they will not be re-signing Jonathan Toews. His tenure,
Shocked, I tell you. Shocked.
His tenure as a Chicago Blackhawk is over. He had a nice little farewell last game where they lost in overtime. They couldn't pull that one out for him. You know what I mean?
I think during the game they I was reading the timeline. Jonathan Toews wins face off, first face off after his last game, and then Chicago lets in a goal 20 seconds after that. 20 seconds into the game, they let in a goal, which is the most. God, if that doesn't sum up the Chicago experience for the past 4 years, I don't know what does. But I don't know. I feel bad for him. He was one of the guys impacted by COVID. He got COVID, complications, hasn't been able to get better from it. His play suffered. His cap hits $10.5 million. And he wasn't healthy enough to trade at the deadline to send him to a contender. So
15 seasons with the Chicago Blackhawks. Won 3 cups. Not too shabby, if you ask me.
No. Just what an awkward
He was never the guy in Chicago, but he was always.
He was a captain. He was a captain. Being the captain helps. One of the faces of the franchise there, and good career. He'll probably continue his career somewhere else, being a decent fourth line, maybe third line option if he stays healthy enough. But
his health is a concern. But he's 34. I'm sure someone will pick him up for 2 years, probably.
Yeah, give him the Corey Perry treatment. He just starts bouncing off team to team.
Ain't that kind of sad to see when somebody is a lifer on a team, and they're at the end of the road and they're just bouncing from team to team when they played the entire career on one team?
I don't know.
I get it, but it makes me a little sad when
it's holding on. Look, I'm also from a team that held on as long as they possibly could to everybody. So I understand.
Sometimes it's on the player who wants to continue to play even when they are no longer showing results.
And the problem isn't keeping the player. The problem is the cap hit.
Yeah.
Usually it's the cap hit. The contract they earned when they were 29 or 30 or 31 isn't really reflective of value when they're 34, 35, 36. So it's really, unfortunately, it's one of the bad things about the cap is sentimental signings or signing for someone's past accomplishments.
I'm gonna say this
to a bad time.
I'm gonna say this right now. A Canadian team is gonna pick him up. It'll be Toronto or Edmonton.
Highly doubt it.
We will see.
I think he retires. Although the release when they were we're just not going to resign him, we're splitting our ways, does make it seem like he's going to continue playing, but
yeah, because why would you say that if he was going to retire? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. Can he find that passion again after struggling with his health for the past 3 years in a place he wanted to be? Obviously, didn't want to leave Chicago. So can you get yourself back up for that? That's a lot of work.
Yeah, sometimes you don't. You're right. Sometimes you don't want to leave, but you're forced out. Just like Eakins was forced out of his job in Anaheim.
Yeah, it's stupid Ducks.
He has been fired.
Fucking hate the Ducks. Good. I understand, Miguel. I understand. We played the regular season wrapped up yesterday for the Kings and the Knights. Kings beat the fucking Ducks. Unfortunately, Columbus won, so that meant the Ducks have the worst record, which means they also have the best doctor, Connor Bedard. It's great, Miguel. Rewarding teams for being bad, whatever. I don't fucking care. I fucking hate the Ducks. I hope they fall to third or fourth and just waste a pick away.
I don't think I can handle having McDavid, Draisaitl, Bedard.
Miguel, let me throw that back at you. I don't think I want to live in a division where I have to deal with Shane Wright if he ever figures it out, Connor McDavid, whatever. Actually, Calgary doesn't have anything anymore that scares me. Let's see, and Connor Bedard. Oh, by the way, Miguel, since I'm a rival, I got to put up with Jack Eichel now. This is great.
You're welcome.
Great, love it.
I mean, we got to deal with Denault, one of the most annoying defensive.
Yeah, but he's the best.
Forwards in the game.
Yeah, but he's the best. Oh man, Kopitar about to win a goddamn Selkie or Lady Bing. What a beautiful man that Kopitar is. But
yeah, I saw some crazy stat this morning about.
I fucking hate the Ducks. I fucking hate the Ducks. You know what? Can we move on from the Ducks? I'm just angry being in their presence.
Someone else that was angry, a Penguins owner, because he fired President Burke, GM Hextall, after missing the playoffs for the first time, which is big news too.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Penguins, alongside the Washington Capitals, have missed the playoffs. No Ovi, no Sid.
By the way, we can lump them in together because the Capitals also let go of their guy, head coach Peter Laviolette. So
a lot of
Miguel,
coaches losing their jobs.
A lot of parallels, Miguel, with the Jonathan Toews speech that we can go here. Yeah, hang on as long as you can. For the past what? Actually, you could say since they won the cup in 17-18, went back to back, they've been trying to hold on and just keep putting different bodies around Crosby, Malkin, and Letang and seeing what works. And guess what? It finally broke. Was it worth it? Probably. They got cups out of it. They got cups out of it. But afterwards, that's the problem with doing the like giving up your first for like 5 years in a row. Eventually, you have no prospects. You have no future. And now what? I understand people thinking that Hextall did a bad job. Like, why go after Mikael Granlund at the trade deadline? He's awful now. Why didn't you go after JT Miller if he was available from Vancouver? But like, if your best option is JT Miller, who is a good player, had close to 100 points last season, good offensively, but now you're locked in. You'd have to take his 8-year contract that he recently signed in the offseason for Vancouver. Do you really want to be locked into 8 years of JT Miller, not knowing how he meshes in with Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
and I know Crosby can make anyone amazing, or Malkin also, but like, there isn't a hot fix, and that's what they've been trying to do in Pittsburgh for the last God knows how many years. Like Jeff Carter, they got from us. It worked out year one. Hasn't really worked out this year. Like, he's old. He's 37, 38 years old. Like, I know he was Malkin insurance, but even then, it's like, whatever. Like, trading away John Marino wasn't a good move to try to, like, salvage something. Like, was a 1-for-1 trade. Like, trying to fix stuff on the fly, like, just never worked. And I don't think it matters who was in charge. Put any GM, put any president of hockey ops in that situation, and their directive from management is going to be, hey, our window's open as long as Crosby, Malkin, and Letang are here. We need to go for it. And at the end of the day, they ran out of prospects, draft picks, draft capital, any sort of idea of fixing this on the fly just goes out the window after just trying 1,000 times. You can only keep it afloat for so long, and eventually you're going to end up like Los Angeles did, like Chicago is currently, and like St. Louis is currently, like Washington is currently, and you have to just say we have to rebuild. And the bad part is you can't really do that. You can't afford to do that when you have Crosby and Malkin and Letang.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, these teams all won their cup. It was worth it.
I don't know.
That's all that matters.
It's a steep price to pay, Miguel. It's hard. Like, once you get to this moment where you're like, okay, the magic is over, we need to figure something else out. This is when it gets tough now, because I don't know how this team doesn't almost look exactly like it is next season. Like, you're gonna have your core, of course, and you're gonna try to just sprinkle a bunch of free agent signings or cheap I don't know, late round draft picks that you hope catch magic playing with an elite center, but like time's catching up to them. Like I know Crosby's still playing at an elite caliber level, but like man, I don't know how else you can reconstruct this team and have it be as fast as everyone who is a Pittsburgh fan and everyone who's in that organization would want.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they get lucky and end up drafting fourth in the lottery, and that fixes all their problems. You know, who knows?
Who knows? And before we get to playoff talk, one more, probably the biggest news to come out of the NHL this week.
The Carolina Hurricanes playoff helmet sponsor is Top Golf. Congratulations, Top Golf. Damn it.
But we love Top Golf around here, you know?
We do. It's fun.
Not great for my shoulder, but I still love it.
Hey, it's still a good time.
But your Vegas Golden Knights have a new team pet.
I forgot about this, and I'm sad. I'm angry now.
Goldie, welcome to the family. Goldie is a
goldfish.
Pet goldfish for the Vegas Golden Knights, and he's gonna help us get through these playoffs.
Just when I think I can't hate you guys more, you guys get a dumbass fish.
Shout out to Goldie.
You know who hates fish? Cats. You know what? Bailey is a cat, so you better keep him away from us if we win around two, Miguel.
I mean, we will see.
Can I tell you a fun story?
Yes.
I had a goldfish as a kid growing up, right? Love this thing. Won him at a carnival with the little ping pong balls. You throw into the little thingy. Came home one day. It committed suicide. Jumped out of the bowl. Killed itself.
Are you serious?
I was devastated as a kid.
That's crazy.
Walked into the room, saw a little goldfish corpse. So, hope you guys get the tank with the little lid on it.
When I saw the photo, it does have a lid on it.
Good. That's good safety.
Goldie's going nowhere.
You should. You know what they should do.
What?
And I don't know if it's good for the fish or it'll kill the fish. But you know how like sometimes before games you have like take a picture with a mascot or whatever. You gotta post Goldie somewhere in T-Mobile Arena.
You can see them putting the tank somewhere. You can go up and take the photo with it.
It's just a big empty tank with one goldfish.
I don't know. Actually, from the photo, it seems like it's just there in the practice arena. So
actually, you know what you do? You put them in Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay. I don't know. Sharks, you know.
No, you clear out the sharks, get rid of them for like the playoff run. One goldfish.
In the giant tank.
Are you telling me if that goldfish wasn't on display somewhere, you wouldn't go visit it?
Oh, I'd go. If exactly. It's at the practice center, I'm gonna go at least once to take a photo.
God, I hope so.
It is playoff time, Eric.
Yeah.
The matches are mostly set.
Thanks a lot for not cooperating, Colorado, who at the time of this recording is tied 3-3 against Nashville.
So when we get to that matchup, we're just gonna make some assumptions.
Yeah.
But we're starting out in the Atlantic. Number one record, which we haven't talked about, but Boston Bruins, most games won.
Most points in the season.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Boston Bruins versus Florida Panthers. How you feeling about this one?
So look, I'm disappointed in the matchup. I wanted Islanders Boston in round one. Just give me two. You know, much like WrestleMania, one of my favorite matches was just give me some meat and just have it slap around each other for 60 minutes. You know, that's what I wanted in between the Islanders and the Bruins. Unfortunately for me, and look, Sergei Bobrovsky has done the impossible before when he was with Columbus. You all remember 2018, the beautiful sweep of the then winningest regular season team, Tampa Bay Lightning. Bobrovsky was in net for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Miguel. Here he is again. Wild card team, playing the best team in history. But I think it's a five game max for the Boston Bruins. I don't like Florida. They're hanging on by a thread. Matthew Tkachuk is the only real thing that I feel like they have going for them, and that's not enough.
I'm going to say Boston in 6. First game's on Monday.
I feel like you're being generous with the 6, but I respect it.
Second up matchup, probably depends on who you ask, but I feel like this is the number one. Maybe I would say number 2 most look forward to matchup, and that's going to be your Toronto Maple Leafs versus Tampa Bay Lightning.
Can I tell you why I hate this matchup?
Why? Why do you hate it, Erick?
They fucking look the same.
Because they're all blue and
fucking
white.
Blue and white. There's a fucking Tampa couldn't think of a third color to be. I hate it. Like, just aesthetically on the ice, it's a displeasing.
I agree.
Matchup.
At a glance, you don't know who's who.
I hate it. You gotta wait till they get to center ice to figure out whose logo is it. I hate it. I look. I have a very, very like wishy-washy answer here. All right? It's not very flexible, but it's either and I told you this in the message. It's either Leafs in 6 or Lightning in 7. There is no in between.
I'm feeling spicy.
If you pick the Leafs, it's not really a spicy pick. They're favored, Miguel.
I'm feeling spicy. And I'm gonna say Leafs in 4.
Jesus, that is spicy.
This will be the only sweep of in the first round. I think,
man,
I feel something special with the Leafs this year.
I just don't think Vasilevsky loses 4 games in a row. It's impossible.
All that padding weighs on you eventually. You know what I mean?
I guess, but
I think,
know, man.
I think the Leafs are gonna come out to prove a point.
I think this is gonna be your most wrong one of a long time, but I respect the boldness, but I just don't see it. I understand the narratives, Miguel. You know what's a good thing is that if everyone agrees, everyone's usually going to be wrong. Like, that take is usually wrong. Everyone's agreeing that Tampa easy for the taking. Tampa hurt. Tampa doesn't want to be there anymore. Tampa's played too many games. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, until again, like in the final last year, until they lose, it's hard to vote against them. And also on the flip side, Miguel. Until the Leafs win, I'll believe it when I see it.
My vote against them is not because they're old. It's not because they're hurt. It's not because they're tired. I just think the sure will and determination of the Maple Leafs is going to get them over that hump this year. What they do after that, we'll see. But I think this is the year.
I think you're a madman, but I respect it.
This is the one.
I think you're a madman.
Now we're heading over to the Metro. We have probably my least looking forward to matchup. The Carolina Hurricanes versus the Islanders.
Again, think of the wild cards will switch. This be a lot more interesting. Florida versus Carolina, a lot more sexier.
I'll put my guess first on this one.
We've seen this matchup before, though, but I'm interested to see where you're leaning.
I'm gonna say Islanders in 7 because
see, I knew it.
Because I don't think since Carolina has lost Svetch, they have not looked the same.
They're a team that struggles to score. And even though Pacioretty played 2 games for them?
Team cancer. Well, no, yes.
I mean, can't be a cancer if we're never there, big guy.
I mean, he's in the locker room poisoning everyone.
I don't think so. I don't think so. He's scooting around. Come on. Come on, Miguel. Your profile picture for the longest was you and Max Pacioretty.
And
you refused to change it after you...
I don't know what you're talking about.
After you got traded,
the accountability on his body is just... It just wasn't there for Max.
Look.
In all seriousness, they have not looked the same since Fetch went down.
No, because that's one of their best offensive weapons. And
of course,
losing a guy like him for the entire year freaking sucks. However, I will say, do you know what team led the league in scoring from their defensemen?
I'm going to guess you're going to say Carolina.
It's the Carolina Hurricanes. So they do have a way to score. You know, they got Brent Burns back there.
I mean, I'm not saying they can't score. That's what I'm saying. 7. I just think Islanders are that boring team that drags you.
Pesci, that's a good defense. Freddie Anderson, as long as he doesn't
into boring games.
They do. But at the end of the day, what kind of offensive weapons do they have? We don't Matt Barzal. All indications he's healthy, good to go game one. Bo Horvat's production since Barzal went down has been like whatever, but they've had other guys step up, and that's good. That's what you need, especially heading into the playoffs. Like they have depth scoring. Like it just I think eventually becomes whose depth do you trust more, and I have to go to Carolina for that one. I think it'll be a long series.
Yeah,
I think it'll be Canes in 6, but it'll be tough. Like I wouldn't be surprised if by game 3 the Islanders are up 2-1. But I do think it's going to be a long series, and I think Carolina's depth is what carries them.
Good. So you're picking the Carolina and how many?
6.
6. Okay. Next, New Jersey Devils.
This is probably my most like outside of Kings is this matchup. The Devils and the Rangers.
Yeah, this was gonna be fun. They're gonna beat the shit out of each other.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
This one is tough, but I'm leaning Devils in 6.
Rangers in 5.
Wow. That's actually shocking, man. I know the Rangers are good. The Rangers are good.
Just one reason only. I don't need. It's not Patrick Kane. It's not Panarin. It's not Zibanejad. It's not Adam Fox. Goaltending. Igor Shesterkin versus Vitek Vanacek.
They got the better goaltender for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say anything, and I wish I would have looked in the stat to see like, well, let's figure out how well Vitek has played. What's his high danger save percentage? Got it out. What's his quality starts looking like? But he was pretty average throughout the year. He had a great opening months when they were really hot and opened up the season with like 2 losses in the first 14 games. Like they were good. Vitek was good. He did hit a bit of a lull during the middle of the year. And I'll say it, Shesterkin hasn't really looked like Vezina Shesterkin, but I think the way they play there, it'll be tighter hockey with as violent as we assume it's going to be between these two teams that are I was going to say cross-town rivals, but cross-state rivals, I guess, technically. So it'll be interesting to see what that does to both teams, because I do think skill-wise, I think the Devils match up for them. Hitting-wise, I don't know. Jacob Trouba's on the other side, They don't got a big hitter like they do over in New Jersey, so it'll be interesting. I do think Rangers in 5. I just think they're deeper.
I mean, yeah, that one's gonna be fun. Now we get to the stupid Central Division.
Miguel, currently it is 17:30 left in the third. Colorado power play, still 3-3.
I'm gonna go ahead and make the assumption that Colorado's gonna win this game.
Okay, sure.
And if they don't, we look like idiots.
I can't wait for like 2 minutes within this like Nashville scores.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Colorado's gonna win.
Okay. So Colorado wins the Central is what you're saying. They're the Central Division champions. So who do they play, Miguel? They play Seattle then, right?
So yeah, so they would play Seattle. Colorado versus Seattle.
Colorado's missing Gabriel Landeskog. They announced he's not coming back at all. He's not played this year at all, which sucks.
This one's tough.
This one is tough. Do we doubt Seattle again? They've kind of defied the odds this season. They're a great defense. I will actually, outside of their goaltending, they're great defensively. Both of their goalies, Martin Jones and Philip Grubauer, have sub 900 save percentages. I think Martin Jones is the best out of the two of them, and I think he was at 895, which is bad, like really bad. But yet he has 24 wins in a year, which is really good. And his goals allowed average is below 3, so that's also really good. Seattle's good at shot suppression. They're good at keeping action low. Colorado's the opposite. High pace. I mean, literally this game earlier today, Nathan McKinnon did a play where he split two defenders. Like, that's the kind of dynamic offensive firepower they have. Kale McCarr been hurt a lot of this year. We don't know if he's probably not 100% heading into the playoffs, but
he is playing the playoffs. But yeah, he's not. There's no way he's going to be 100%.
No, so that's a big question mark because we saw he's the only guy who could keep up with Connor McDavid, and holy shit, did he last year? So he is 100% very crucial to this team.
He is the reason they won the Stanley Cup last season.
It feels like it, right? Like he was that catalyst.
You take out McCarr, they don't win. You take out Nathan, I still think they win. That's it. I'm not saying overall Nathan McCarr is very important, but during the playoffs, at times he was kind of a ghost, especially in the finals.
Yeah, but that's that happens because their top defense and top forward line is going up against your
and I feel like
defense and top forward line. So it's sometimes that
a lot
kind
of
weighs
times
things
people
down.
will say a defenseman you don't notice is a good defenseman.
It's the opposite with Kale McCarr. You notice him all the time.
You notice him all the time, and not for the bad reasons. Because usually when you notice a defenseman, it's because they fucked up.
Yeah.
But McCarr, you notice because that kid's fucking amazing.
That being said, I will. Yeah. It's Colorado in 5. I think we saw it, Miguel. We saw it. To end the year, Seattle played a home and home against Vegas, right?
Yes.
They did not play bad against Vegas.
They dominated Vegas in Seattle. Vegas absolutely should have not won last night, but they did.
Yeah, there's a lovely money puck deserved to win-o-meter, and it had, Seattle winning that game, how many times out of 1,000? Like the majority of them.
Yeah, it was. I think statistically, it was like one of the worst games Vegas has ever played.
However, what do we talk about in the playoffs, Miguel? Timely saves and timely goals scored. Yes. I don't think Seattle has that. I don't think they have enough to generate their own luck, especially not in net. They have to play perfect to play against Colorado. It's basically the Kings from last year. Like, the talent isn't there. However, if they play together as a whole unit, they definitely have a puncher's chance to be in this thing. But I think it's Colorado in 5. I think they're just too good offensively. And never forget, their depth defensively is also very good, even with like a 75% Kale McCarr.
Before last night, I would have said Colorado in 5. After seeing the fight that Seattle put up yesterday against Vegas, and to be honest with you, Vegas won 3-1, and out of those 3 goals, only one was actually shot. The other 2 were not shots. One kick went off of Riley Smith's leg that just went in off of Seattle defenseman that tried to clear it. The third one is Chandler Stevenson put his stick down with an empty net to block a pass, and it had ricocheted forward with enough momentum to go in. So they scored on 2 non-shots. Vegas got a bit lucky. Grubauer played a good game, but Brossois, or Broswall, as they called him last night, put up a fucking game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Seattle in 6.
Going for the upset.
I'm going for the upset. I think
the defending champions out in round 1, huh?
I'm not saying Colorado's like done, they're past their prime. No, of course not. I'm just saying they just don't have it this season. A lot of injuries, a lot working against them. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, but the flip side of that is they have no with all the injuries that they had, they have no rights winning as many games that they did, and they are.
Which is crazy to say because they're going to win their division. So it's crazy for me to say that, but
I don't know if you just jinxed them. It's still 3-3, 13 minutes left in the third, so we'll find out.
So by the end of the time we end this podcast, I'm sure we'll know if our.
By the way, Cody Glass just won a face-off against Nathan McKinnon.
We might have to make some repredictions because I think Talkin LA and Vegas will stretch this out to the end of this game.
All right.
We'll see. Next game, Minnesota Wild versus the Dallas Stars. I think this one's pretty easy.
Minnesota in 7.
Dallas in 5. You're crazy.
No, Minnesota in 7, baby. Kaprizov back.
Tear it up in the playoffs.
You mean Jason? Jason. Nick Robinson's the guy. I mean, they're brothers, so I guess so.
Jason Robertson is going to tear it up. And Jake Ottinger Arguably the best goaltender in the playoffs.
Miguel, I have 2 words for you.
Go ahead. What is it?
Playoff Flurry, baby. He's here. The magic man from Quebec is here. The joy to the world between the pipes. Marc-Andre Fleury. Also, guess who's back?
The man that goes behind the net to give up a game-tying goal to lose you the series. That man.
Ah, good times. Good times. Hey,
that Marc-Andre Fleury. If that playoff Andre is in, then Dallas at 4.
Hey, look. Fleury will play fine. Minnesota's fine. Joel Eriksson Ek, baby. Little underrated center right there. They're good.
I'll say this.
They'll be okay.
Playoff Flurry is the thing for like the first 2 rounds.
Okay, what round are we in, baby?
First round.
Thank you. First 2 rounds. Come on.
I still think Jake Ottinger is a monster. He's a wall. He's a big, thick boy. And I'm going to say Dallas in 5. I think they got this.
No, I don't know, man. Kaprizov, man. Kaprizov magic. I think he's good enough to win him around. He's back. He hasn't played in a while. Zuccarello's playing pretty okay. I like Joel Eriksson Ek.
Play the last game or no?
No, I don't believe he did.
I don't think he did either.
So, but
we don't know what health he's at.
He'll be fine. He's been gone for a while.
Is Eriksson Ek playing?
Yeah, Eriksson Ek is playing. I don't think he played the last game. I think they rested a lot of guys last game. So,
well, Eriksson Ek got hurt. That's why.
Yeah, but he'll be back. Like no one's super hurt for them. I think the only person they have on. No, they don't have anyone on IR, so everyone should be good to go for them.
Okay, I still think Dallas in 5, but
I don't believe.
Now we shall move on to the Pacific. What really matters, the cutthroat Pacific. With your Vegas Golden Knights, Pacific Division leaders, Western Conference #1 seed.
Congratulations, Miguel.
Thank you. Versus
I've never heard anybody whose team eventually won the 1 seed in a conference complain as much as you. That's how the universe was against you.
You know what's funny? Yes. If you listen to me and you talk to me as much as Eric does, you would think Vegas would have missed the playoffs this year.
You believe Vegas was the goddamn San Jose Sharks. Hopeless. Hopeless.
I was so doom and gloom because I mean there's all the injuries, 5 goalies in 1 year, like
the cap circumvention with Mark Stone all of a sudden being healthy for game 1.
Oh, that's big news we didn't talk about. So 4 days ago, Mark Stone stepped on the ice again for practice. He's been skating on his own for practice in a non-contact jersey. He traveled with the team to Seattle and practiced that morning in a non-contact jersey. And all indications are, well, when they asked Vegas Golden Knights, when they asked Bruce Cassidy said, we don't know. We still don't have a timetable. But
Lies. He had a timetable. Game 1.
I forgot what insider said it. One of the, maybe Elliot Freeman. I don't remember. One of the insiders was like, says he's hearing he's gonna Mark Stone will be back game 1.
Shocked, Miguel.
What condition? We don't know.
He'll be fine to come out.
Man had 2 back surgeries in 8 months. Like
we gotta get a bunch of fucking dumbass gifts of angry Mark Stone. Oh, look at Mark Stone. Look at him yell. Look how the people love him.
Oh, he's great.
Get out of here. Cap circumvention. Cap circumvention.
I still stand by my statements of last week where you keep a short leash on Stone.
Not in the playoffs. You run him to the ground, baby. Into the ground.
You got it. They will run him into the ground. I would stay with the mentality of if he's not good in game 1 and they lose, you take him out. If he's not good and they win, you keep him for another game. But yeah, if the second Mark Stone costs you games, you got to pull him. Maybe he won't. Maybe he will. We'll see.
No, they won't do it. Mark Stone could just be
maybe he won't. Maybe he won't cost us games. I know he's playing unless he is legitimately hurt and he cannot go. He will play.
Miguel, did you not see how like the Oilers just trudged out there Leon Draisaitl on one leg for 3 rounds?
Yeah,
that's what you just get out there, Mark. Figure it out.
Put every perk in him.
Mm-hmm.
Every painkiller.
Yep.
And you throw him out on the ice. So yeah, it's gonna be playoff Jack for the first time ever. Something Buffalo could never give him.
Jesus.
versus Winnipeg Jets, who as of recently has been pretty good. They started out the season hot. They went ice cold in the middle.
And then they somehow got colder towards the end.
Then they got colder, and then they got hot at the very end.
They almost blew it. They almost just allowed. What a weak playoff race this was between Calgary and Winnipeg, where it was like it was the opposite of the Pacific. You remember like 2 weeks where like Kings win, Knights win, Oilers win, and that just kept happening. It was the opposite at the bottom, baby. It was Winnipeg lost, Calgary lost. Winnipeg lost, Calgary lost. But Winnipeg's figured it out.
Winnipeg's figured it out. They've been good the last 10 games, 11 games. I forgot their record was. They're like 7-3 or something.
Yeah, something positive.
They were good. I mean,
how confident do you feel? What's the Miguel confident meter at right now?
I'd put it at a 70% Vegas win.
Okay.
Because that 30%, that 29 of that 30% is Hellebuck. 29 of that good. Because regardless of the team you ice, a goalie can steal you a series.
We saw it.
I don't think you can argue with me. You can say I'm wrong. I don't think a single skater can win you a game, but a goalie can win you a game. A goalie can win you a series. And Hellebuck, Vezina winning Hellebuck is one of those goalies. Top 3 probably goalies in this playoffs, like maybe top 2 between him, Ottinger, Vasilevsky. Are probably what would you say are probably the 3 best goalies?
Yeah. Sorokin, don't forget him. He's pretty good too on the island. So yeah, I'd say those are comfortably at least some of the top 5 goalies.
Yeah. So when you compare Vegas and Winnipeg, like I said, Hellebuck makes me worry. I don't think this is a lock-in. I don't think this is a sweep by any means, and it does make me worry a little bit because Vegas's health is still in question. Like Mark Stone, what is it going to be at? Jack Eichel, he was out with a injury the last few games. He came back for the last game. Shea Theodore was off for about a month with injuries. He came back on the last game. He didn't look that great, but then again, he hasn't played in about a month. Zach Whitecloud, who went down with a horrendous looking injury. I don't know if you saw it, where I forgot the player landed on his leg and his knee twisted sideways. Somehow he will be available in the first round. I don't know how. I don't know the severity of his injury. He still hasn't even been at practice. He hasn't even skated, but Cassidy said he'll be there round 1. Essentially everyone except for Logan Thompson and William Carrier will be in first round.
That's interesting. Goaltending is always what worries me.
Yeah, so goaltending, Logan Thompson injured his groin, I guess, or knee or something. He injured the same injury that took him out for months. Two periods into the one game he played a few weeks ago. He came back to practice 2 weeks ago. He was skating for a few days. He was a full participant last week, but then Bruce Cassidy said 2 days ago that he did not take well to the practice, is what he said. Whatever that means, my guess is he's probably in pain.
So it's probably Brossoit versus Hellebuck.
Yes, because Quick has not been great. Despite having a good winning record, he's given up 3 goals or more every game. He hasn't been great. He's been all over the place. And
let me counter that. Was he playoff Quick?
Yes.
Playoff Quick?
That is true. But given that Brossoit played the last 4 games of the season,
yeah, he's probably the guy.
He's the guy.
He's that guy, pal.
He's actually been good. He's been really fucking good. This season, he doesn't have a single regulation loss with the Golden Knights. He only played, I want to say, 15 games. I think he was 12-0-3. So he doesn't have a single regulation loss, which is good. He's been great. His stats are, I don't know what his stats are actually.
All right, so Miguel, let's get you back on track here. What do we got here? How many games?
Oh, you go first.
They played each other in 2018. in Vegas'
Vegas,
inaugural year.
yeah.
It was Vegas in 5 then. It's Vegas in 5 now.
And Vegas went 3-0 against them in the regular season, which doesn't matter, but 5, that's respectable. I'm gonna say Vegas in 5 as well.
I like
Even
how you
though,
went. I like how you went. Oh, it's not a sweep. We'll give him one game. But it's
well,
not
because
a sweep.
while Hellebuyck can't steal you an entire series, I'm being hopeful that they don't. They doesn't. Not to say that their team isn't good. They got Shifley, they got Pionk, who's been on fire defensively. Ehlers, who in the
You mean-
3 games
you mean
against Vegas,
Ehlers?
Ehlers, the 3 games against Vegas, he was injured and he's very good.
Yeah, I like
Connors,
Miguel Ehlers.
they have good players.
They do. That's why it's weird that Winnipeg struggles as much as they do.
And
Dubois
that's
is
the
also
thing.
there. Can't forget him.
Do you think it might be a coaching thing? Because that on paper, they should
No.
be much better than they are.
I think it's just a roster construction thing. I think it's holding. I think this offseason will be cathartic for the Jets, and if they can get rid of either Wheeler or Shifley. I just think the old core there is not really doing much for them. And
If they beat Vegas, I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be very sad. But I am glad of one thing, Eric.
what?
That it's not LA versus Vegas in the first round.
That would have been LA in 5.
Because this podcast might have been canceled. You know what I mean?
LA in 5 would have been easy.
Either way, the other Pacific, and to me, the number one matchup in the playoffs, more than Vegas' game, in my opinion, for me, is the Edmonton Oilers versus your Los Angeles Kings.
We're back, baby. We're back.
Set the playing field, Eric.
So it feels different. It feels 100% different than I did last year heading into this fucking matchup.
I mean, both teams are significantly better than they were last year.
We are, yeah. I mean, a year ago, we had lovely Nation Dan. I probably will have him on next week or something, like to figure something out. But he asked me, how does LA win this series? And I took a long pause because it ruined me as soon as it happened, because game 1 happened and Victor Arvidsson was missing for the entire year, or for the entire series, I should say.
Yeah.
And at that point, we also didn't have Drew Doughty. Basically, what needed to happen is everything needed to stay healthy and perfect for LA, and it didn't happen because they just didn't have the offensive firepower.
Yeah, which they're not healthy this year either.
Fast forward to this time, a lot deeper, a lot of good development for the young guys. Like Arthur Kaliev has been good, but I wish he didn't get hurt in the middle of the year, because you could see that impacted him. Just in his legs and the way he's moving. He saw the tremendous shot, but the confidence isn't there right now. Quentin Byfield, all of a sudden, the top line left winger. Who would have guessed this guy that we drafted for center is clicking with Kopitar and Kempe, and Kempe just a 41 goal season, even better than his 35 last year. The additions of Kevin Fiala and the emergence of Gabriel Belardi. Belardi all of a sudden kind of blossoming into what we thought he'd be, like a guy with tremendous size and skill, good hands, great shot. And Kevin Fiala being everything we thought he'd be, a talent. He does things that no one else on the team can do in terms of transition and just creativity. Being creative with the puck. Unfortunately, the two most important guys, our leading goal scorer, and at that point when he got hurt, our top point getter, guess who took it back? Kopitar, for like the 14th straight year. Not letting go of the team leading points. Both of those guys are hurt heading into the year. We haven't seen them since about 2 weeks left. Gabe skated yesterday in a red non-contact jersey. Kevin Fiala, Miguel, MIA, has not been seen on the ice. Worrisome. He didn't play any of the 2 games. He didn't play in the game against Vegas. He didn't play a game against the Oilers at all. The last game we saw him in was against Vancouver, and he looked very slow. So it's a knee injury. We know that. He got that against Colorado a while back. It's tough to say. Healthy, I think I had all the confidence in the world. Kings in 5, absolutely. I just think we're deeper. I think we have.
I actually agree.
Actual goaltending, like all the confidence in the world was there. That being said, the Oilers also got better. They added Matthias Ekholm. He's been a game changer for them.
Oh, That is crazy. That man single-handedly has made Oilers very scary team to play against.
And hey,
Where before they were always scary because they got McDavid and Draisaitl, but fuck, man, Ekholm.
yeah, no, he solidified their back end. Like, hey, Miguel, but McDavid somehow got better.
I know.
Draisaitl still Draisaitl.
3 points.
Evander Kane owns the LA Kings for some reason. Can't get a hold of his depth, but he has a chokehold on the LA Kings. Like,
and it's funny because I feel like it's the opposite for Vegas. Like they just own.
That's it's hard to play when you probably have loan sharks looking out from the catwalk. You know what I mean? So that being said, it's gonna be tough. Like the stress of the playoffs is here. I feel it now. The last 2 games of the season, I could care less. Like I just wanted the Kings to be in, like whether they played Edmonton, Vegas, or Colorado.
Yeah,
it didn't matter. Just get healthy. And now that we're at the end, there's a lot of questions in terms of health. At the end of the day, I'm confident if this team can field at least Fiala at like 70%. I think Velarde will be healthy. I think he'll be fine. Edler will be back by then too. Anderson already came back. Like, if this team can roster the potential lineup that they can, I do think the Kings win this series, and I'm confident in it. I want revenge. This isn't a brain talking. This is heart, baby. Kings in 7. I think we get a redo of exactly what happens, play by play. Kings will win game 1 in Edmonton. Edmonton will get a chokehold after that, and the Kings will fight back. But this time they'll find a way to finally break through, because even in those 2 previous games where we didn't have Velarde, didn't have Fiala, we were in there. We just couldn't score.
Yeah,
held them to 2 goals both times. 3-1 the second game, but was an empty netter, so who cares? They've been close, and that's been without our best players. 2 of our best players, I should say. So I believe in this team. Like, everything has to go perfect again. They can't beat themselves. The power play is a huge advantage for Edmonton, and it was for them last series. So we'll see. But this year, the Kings have a decent power play themselves, so it'll be tough, Miguel. It'll be fucking tough, and it'll be the hostility will be there minute 1.
This game's gonna be a bloodbath. These teams clearly hate each other over the Mikey Anderson and Connor McDavid incident.
I mean, also Mikey, that also stems from the playoffs last year when Mikey Anderson is accredited to injuring Draisaitl because of a scrum that happened afterwards.
But so if healthy, because that's one thing about Edmonton this year. They've been able to maintain health. I never looked up the stats, but I would have to think Edmonton's in the top 3 for healthiest teams.
Again, they lost Kane for a while.
I mean, yeah, I said, and I think that is going to skew the stat of like the injury for teams. It was just a freak accident, you know.
Hyman was out for a little bit, also. But the crazy thing about Edmonton, like as long as they have McDavid and Draisaitl, like they'll just keep chugging.
And lately, at least from the games I saw, Skinner has been really good in net.
Mm-hmm. That's another big question mark for them. Like, how is Stuart Skinner going to play?
Last year, I still don't believe in their goaltending, but we'll see. But given LA's health, I would have picked LA easy in 5 if healthy, because I think stylistically they would just smother and shut down Edmonton. But given that you're not healthy, not even close, and I understand, and I feel that pain, I'm gonna go ahead and say Edmonton. And
you fucking traitor!
I want you guys to
you
win,
fucking traitor,
because no fan base needs humbling more than the Edmonton Oilers.
Man, dude, I imagine I would hate to see how you would react after playing a series against them.
Oh, I'd be insufferable. If we win or we lose, I'd be insufferable.
Yeah,
I hope we meet in the second round.
I hope so too.
We didn't meet in the first round.
I'm sad we didn't meet in the first round. That would have been great.
Here's why. In the first round, I think Vegas beats LA.
No, we kick your ass.
I think we would beat you guys.
And we'd beat you in 5.
In the game that mattered, we destroyed you guys. But
they played like whatever.
The reason outside of now on
during that game, Miguel, the Kings beat themselves. They were sloppy. They just looked uninterested. Like it wasn't a game.
I mean, if that team can't come alive when it mattered, where that would have been a 4-point swing. Either way, my thing to say is, no matter what, and this is the one thing about the West in general. Whoever comes out of that game is going to come out beat the fuck up.
Yeah. By the way, good news, Colorado goal. We don't got to change anything.
I told you. I knew it. I knew it.
We don't got to change anything. Colorado goal, 142 left.
I don't jinx everything, Eric. I don't jinx everything.
Colorado above jinxing, apparently.
But, yeah, no matter what, whoever wins between LA and Edmonton, that team is coming out less than 100.
Which is what happened
already not.
Which is what happened to the Oilers last year. That happened to the Oilers last year. They escaped that series, and Draisaitl didn't come out, completely healthy.
And like to me, Edmonton's not a team that plays heavy, but they're fast, and they have a bit of dirty players on that team.
McDavid tries to throw his body around, so.
LA plays heavy. They will wear on anybody they play. They will beat up anybody.
You know what's funny? That's like one of our biggest complaints from our fans is that we don't play heavy enough. We don't hit enough.
I disagree.
Enough grit.
You guys don't necessarily hit a ton, but you guys still play heavy, in my opinion.
I don't know. I see it. I understand the concerns. I don't think the forwards play heavy. Also, I don't think our system needs us to play heavy because we do a lot of 1-3-1. Which is just neutral zone traps and make the team dump the puck. And, at that point, you're just trying to exit the zone. So there's not a lot of forechecking. It's not like 2012, 2014 Kings, but I get it. I understand the concerns, but I counter that with they're winning games. So who cares?
Yeah. And same thing with anyone that plays Vegas. They're going to come out hurt. They're going to come out tired. Just Vegas is a team.
It's just Braden McNabb just cheap shotting people.
They're not cheap shots. They're well-timed, lined
Miguel,
up.
I had Braden McNabb on my team for years as well. I know how he plays.
It's not the same Braden, though.
I know how he plays. He plays the exact same. He's kind of a dipshit. He's good at getting people's... I'm not saying he's a dirty player. I just know he's just kind of a dipshit sometimes.
I mean, he knows how to get on the team's skin.
And also during the playoffs, Miguel, you could get away with a lot of shit after the whistle.
And that was what I was going to say. And this is why, and I'll take the moment now to say this. This is why I'm not a believer of the Edmonton Oilers. They are a team who wins games off of power plays. And I'm not saying they're undeserving power plays. They are deserving power plays. But you won't get as many in the playoffs. Yeah, but I don't know. They have, again, but my counter argument for that is they have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Who cares? No, they're good. I can only speak from Vegas to Oilers. On 5-on-5 hockey, we own the Oilers, but the second we go on special teams, it's over. They have a historic power play. I'll never keeping track of the stat. Yeah, they have the best. I'll never discredit them because in Game 7 there were no penalties called, and they probably should have last year against the Kings. Yeah, there was no penalties called. So I mean, we just got beat 2-0. It was just 5-on-5. They controlled play. So. I don't know. We'll be interested to see because Connor McDavid can turn it on to a whole nother level. Like we saw that. You have questions about Jack Eichel. We've never seen playoff Jack Eichel. No, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Playoff Hellebuck. I think we've seen him before. You could see Jack Eichel was relatively non-existent in the last game of the season, but it might have been just because. I think that'll be an interesting, and it's over. The Colorado Avalanche are your Central Division champions. Miguel, we don't have to re-record this. Good. Congratulations. But thank you. I say all that to be it'll be interesting to see next week who stands out. Through 3 or 4 games, if the series are done, who are the people standing out? Because I think the one thing we're missing from some people, Austin Matthews hasn't really had a breakout playoffs yet. I know he hasn't played beyond a round, but he's never been dominant in a loss either. So it'll be interesting to see who are the people that step up in the first round. Because last year's darling was Jake Ottinger, baby. He was the guy who stood out and made a lot of noise, and now you see him in a different light. So
it'll be interesting to see who in round one steps up for a bunch of these teams because a lot of these series are super close. And you can either pick either or, like we saw it a lot in our guesses right now. We don't agree on half of them. That just tells you how close this league is and how much parity there are even between the top and the bottom.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gone on long enough.
Good job stalling until the game ended.
I know.
Pat yourself on the back, Miguel. That was a Conn Smythe dragging of the episode.
But it's gonna be exciting, and we haven't really talked about it, but I'm assuming we're gonna pump out a few more episodes.
Probably
a week, shorter but more frequent, just because personally, I don't know. I think it'd be nice to pump one out at least after every 2 games of our respective teams.
Yeah, it gets tricky, but we'll figure something out.
Yeah, especially because our teams play on opposite days. It would have been better if they both played on the same day.
I mean, it would have been convenient, but I understand why they did it.
No matter what, when we record, it's gonna be when someone's playing, most likely.
Yeah, it'll be awkward, but it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Whoever's team is in the lead, we can
gets priority.
We will figure it out. Either way, everybody, you can find us at the Pacific Origin on Twitter. You can find me at Miguel Kicks all over the internet. Eric, where can the people find you?
At _ Erick Oriana. That's _ ERICKORELLANA. Man, it's crazy that we're here. But Miguel, send the regular season home.
For all those listening who have listened this entire season, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful time, and we are ready for playoff hockey. Let's go, Goldie. Thank y'all for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.
I fucking hate your fish.